Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, whatever time of the day it is, wherever you are. Welcome to episode 45 of Hoods, Goods. And Mike, you know what? This episode is gonna be a special one, man. I'm gonna be very candid. I'm gonna be very open with, my topic of discussion today.
Okay.
Because it's something where I feel it's important that we occasionally look at ourselves, do some real self-reflection, and see how we could have either, made better choices, acted more appropriately, and, in the hopes of growing as an individual. So Mike, I'm gonna open up to the people about something where only a few people know about it, but I want to use it as a means to hopefully, I guess, direct others or instruct others in a positive way, by opening up about my own faults, my own mistakes, and it's something that I'm going to be very candid about. And, I guess I will ask that people be understanding and people not be so quick to judge and make assumptions. But I also realize, hey, you know what? I need to hold myself accountable. I need to, hold myself to a standard where, not just I can be pleased with, my family can be pleased with, but now that I have a son and he's almost 10 months now, he's 9.5 months, so I have to really think about what kind of example am I setting for him, and what kind of person, what kind of father am I being to him. So Mike, you remember the other week we had Mr. Supreme Solid on the show.
Yep, that was a great
that
interview.
was a great episode.
It was fun to meet.
Yeah, fun to meet.
It was great dude.
Good energy in the studio that day. It was great meeting he and his wife in the library. And and it just turned out we had like so many other things that we connected on. Like his wife's name is Elaine. One of my grandmothers who passed, the other month, her name was Elaine. His wife also has a cousin named Alan. So, we shared that. And your birthday is July 16th. My son's birthday is July 16th. And they're expecting a child, and the due date is July 16th. I mean, so yeah, it was good to connect with them. It was good to see, to hear about some of the things they have going on. And, the one thing, and this actually brings me to the topic of discussion today. So for those of you who checked out the post that we made about that show, they have an anti-abuse non-profit organization going. So I mean, that's always great where, as soon as you hear you can non-profit, you can tell they're doing this to raise awareness, to, not to capitalize on it, but to really make people aware that these are things that happen, and, bring light to it, and hopefully help people, change that type of dynamic in their relationships. So you know what, Mike? Today I decided I'm gonna open up about a situation that happened, and it's something that I'm gonna be very honest about. I'm gonna be, as truthful as I can, and I want people to, to hear this story and understand that, hey, you know what, regardless of the person you know me to be, I'm not always perfect, and I am always a work in progress, and so I'm just gonna start off with the story. So guys, for anyone who's listening to this right now, if you've ever been in an abusive relationship, and I'm talking man or woman, it can be a very difficult thing to deal with. What I'm going to talk about is the fact that I was always a person, Mike. I couldn't stand to hear about a man being abusive to a woman. I don't like abuse, period, in a relationship. But for me, I guess it speaks more to me when I hear about men being abusive to their women, especially if it's like a situation where, the guy is like a bad drunk, he'll come back from the bar, drank too much, just wants to like smack his woman, beat her down, belittle her, whatever the case is, right? Like those always sort of, hit hard with me because I've always tried, I've always strived to not be that type of guy. I'm going to tell you guys this. I became what I hated the most. And let me explain. Now don't get it twisted. I didn't become that guy who, okay, I had a bad day at work and when I come home, I'm going to take it out on the woman I love, the woman I'm with. But I have to own my actions. I have to own my behavior. And this is one thing I want guys to focus on, because sometimes we want to say, well, based on how the other person's acting, I had no choice, or I justified my actions in retaliating against them. I have been abused in relationships, and I have also been the abuser. Now, this isn't just, I go and I beat down my woman. I'm not that type of guy, but I have pushed. I have grabbed with, anger. I have done things that I never imagined I could do or would do. And I'm here to use my experience to hopefully help those of you who are out there who may be dealing with your own anger, may be dealing with an abusive relationship. I'm here to use my story to hopefully encourage you guys to be better people. Now, last week we talked about, being respectful to our women. Mother's Day, it just passed. And we talked about showing respect to our women, doing things for them. I will tell you this. I'm not an angry person, but I'm a person who realizes he has anger, and there are times where as a man, you justify it. You say, okay, well, she did this to me, so it's okay for me to do that to her. She talked to me this way, so it's okay for me to retaliate with, the same type of verbal abuse. But one thing I'm learning as I go, Mike, is that I can't be responsible for what someone else does, but I can certainly be responsible for what I do, how I choose to respond, how I choose to act. And there are times where my actions didn't match the person I was always striving to be, didn't match the person I was raised to be, didn't match the person that I know myself to be. And I want to be honest about this, and I want to let people know that we cannot, retaliate bad behavior with bad behavior, because what happens then? It just continues to get worse. Things spiral out of control. And I want to just reiterate and, show people, look, at the end of the day, you're only responsible. You can only control what's within your power. And that, first and foremost, is yourself. The way you choose to behave. I'm not saying that if you have a partner who is behaving disrespectfully, acting violent, cursing and whatnot, I'm not saying it's easy to maintain your cool in that situation. But if you feel yourself getting upset, if you feel that you want to do what I did and you want to push them in a way to get them away from you, guys, especially as a man, it's very easy to get yourself in trouble. And you also have to think through the eyes of a woman. Men are normally the stronger genders, Very rarely is it a case where the woman is like some Samoan wrestler and or like some jiu-jitsu master and the guy is at a disadvantage physically speaking.
Oh yeah, there's been just as an adult, I've learned this thing with women is like guys were always afraid that they'd get rejected by women. Just imagine a first date. Yeah, women are afraid they will die.
Yeah,
and that's a serious thing. Yeah, and I always thought it was a joke, but
I know
women are like, no, that's a serious fear. That I call my girls will be like, oh, I call my friend so she knows I'm out on a date with someone I just met.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, wow, I didn't know. And
that's
real thing.
And that's the thing. Like we never realize. And you know what? I will tell you this. I'm currently doing sessions to actually help me, with my own actions. Help me hold myself accountable, and it is showing me that, you know what? Now I'm more understanding of that, because I always used to feel, well, you know what? I'm not the kind of guy where I'm not gonna come home with like a baseball bat and lose it on my woman. I'm not just gonna beat her down for no reason, or I'm not gonna beat her down. But you also never know until you're pushed, until you're in that moment, the heat of the moment, how you may react, how you may snap. And it is a real thing that most of the times in domestic abuse issues, the man kills the woman, not vice versa. It's very rare that the woman, and I'm not saying guys intend to do it or anything like that, but it could just be, hey, you maybe pushed her in a, you didn't realize you used that much force. You just thought, okay, I just shoved her off. Hey, just get away from me, whatever. All of a sudden, maybe she tumbles the wrong way, and next thing you know, hey, you know what? You've injured her, intentionally or not, but you've injured her just by that one action. So guys, I really want to, stress to men out there, if you feel that you're in a situation or you feel in that moment, you're going to get upset and maybe you'll want to push her away. Maybe you'll want to restrain her in a way that, might you'll use too much force. Guys, just remove yourself. Remove yourself from the room. The last thing you want, and this is especially true if you have children, the last thing you want is your child being in that type of environment. If your partner is the one that you believe is acting wildly irrational, losing it, leave them alone. There is no way that a fight can escalate if one person is by themselves. If you have two individuals together, then yes, the one who may not be freaking out, all of a sudden they may feel, well, hey, the other person's losing it. How come I have to be the one to remain calm? Guys, remove yourself from the situation. Take a walk, go outside, whatever the case is, because the last thing you want is to end up in trouble, end up in a situation where things are much worse, and God forbid someone loses their life. Mm-hmm. I mean, that is because, think about it, if you have children with this person, now those children have lost both parents because one parent's deceased and the other one's going away for life. Mm-hmm. You know? So guys, remove yourself. If you feel that, hey, you have anger and it needs to be dealt with, even if you feel the other person involved is the cause of your anger, you take the ownership. You deal with it, because it is never justifiable to retaliate in a way that makes that person fearful of you, that it intimidates that person, makes them feel that you're using your power or your strength, your force to, for lack of a better word, control or enslave them. Guys, you have the power to control how you harness that energy. Are you going to use that energy in a positive way and say, hey, you know what? Instead of me using it to, push her away or restrain her physically, I'm going to use that energy and I'm going to go for a walk. It's a beautiful day outside. Hey, you know what?
It's something.
Yeah,
something
you
got out of there.
Yeah, you got out of there and, it did not escalate. Be the reason that the situation de-escalates. Don't be the one who escalates it and continues it down a path that you may regret. I'm telling you guys this because, like I said, I've been in that situation. I've been that guy. Thankfully, by the grace of God, no one has ever lost their life, anything like that. It's never gone to the worst extent, but at the same time, you never know what might happen in the heat of the moment. Two people, and guys, if you've been with someone for a long time, you also know this. They know what to say or do to push your buttons. They know how to get under your skin. They know how to manipulate you to the point where all of a sudden you're not thinking rationally. You're not thinking calmly. You're not thinking logically. And I don't want to hear, or I don't want to see anyone that I know personally or, someone I don't know. I don't want to hear about a situation that could have been avoided, and instead of the guy choosing to remove himself, he stayed, and it ended up with the loss of a life. Because like I said, that means 2 lives were really just lost. And if you have children, all of a sudden they may end up in the system, and they're in foster care and whatnot, and now you can't even have a life with your child. So guys, for those of you who are looking for more information on Supreme Solid and his wife's their nonprofit organization against abuse, guys, you can check out the episode that he was on. So episode 43. Yeah, episode 42. My apologies. Check out episode 42. We have a link to their actual Instagram account. Go check out what they're doing. If you need to talk to them personally,
the nonprofit is called Hurt
No More Camp. Yeah. All right. So guys, for those of you who maybe you feel yourself getting in a situation where it could get really dangerous, really ugly, I urge you, I encourage you, take advantage of the resources out there. If you feel you have to go to anger management, go to anger management, because it's better to go to anger management now, deal with those issues, go to counseling, whatever the case is, before all of a sudden it's like it's a different discussion. You're lashed out in a way, and all of a sudden that woman that you were in a relationship with is now dead. And I know some people don't want to hear that. Some people, you know, they're like, oh, well, why you got to put it so bluntly? But guys, that's where it can potentially end up. You know, those shows you see, you know, when you watch like, you know, Forensic Files and stuff, and you see, oh, you know, guy ends up killing his woman over whatever the situation. Guys, these are real things. These are things that can happen intentionally or unintentionally. These are things that can happen. So really, get out there, get as much information as possible, you know, to help you deal with whatever issues you may have with that individual. Maybe it's a situation where it's like it's best you not be with that person anymore, because maybe you realize, hey, they push you to the extent where you may do something foolish. You may do something that you'll end up regretting. But you don't want to be that guy. And I'm telling you this, once you end up in the system, it is very difficult to get out of it. You know, it is your responsibility as an individual. Because like I said before, you only have control over yourself. You can't control how someone else may respond to what you say or what you do, but you can choose how you respond to that. If you want to be a person who exercises patience, a person who exercises understanding, kindness, these different traits, you know, the ability to listen, then be that person. Don't change your values, don't change your morals, your principles, because you feel the other person is being unfair, or because you feel the other person isn't showing you that same level of respect in return. Maybe it's best that you not be with that person anymore. But don't be the one who all of a sudden escalates it and turns it into a situation where it is unsafe, it is volatile, it is dangerous for the woman involved. And I'm telling you guys this, do it before it's too late. Seek the help. Use the resources. There are so many, Mike, in this day and age, in our society, we have so many resources available at our fingertips. You can just like Google, you know, use Google and set up like, you know, a phone, an interview through the phone, you know. Guys, just take advantage of this stuff, because the last thing, you know, anyone involved in that situation, whether it's the two people who are together or it's the extended family, the last thing anyone wants is to get a call. Hey, you know what? So-and-so happened. That person didn't leave. Someone's dead. All right? And like I said, if you have children, it only compounds the impact on that child. All of a sudden, that child doesn't have both parents in his or her life. All of a sudden, those children end up being in the foster care system, and they're surrounded by people who are strangers to them, people who they didn't grow up around, you know. So guys, do what you need to do. Take care of your anger, take responsibility for your actions. And like I said, I mean, that's what I'm doing right now, Mike. And I wanted to use my experience in order to urge people, to encourage guys to do the same. And guys, take it seriously, because one thing can turn into something devastating. It can turn into a tragedy, can turn into the loss of a life. And life is so precious. You know, maybe when you're younger, you don't realize the worth of it, the value of it. But as you get older, you start to see things, you know, your perspective as a person changes. The views you have on life, on the world, they change. And don't take that for granted. Do not take life for granted, you know. So there are people that are lost in the system because they slipped up once. Don't follow that trend. And like I said, I'm doing my part because I'm not blaming anyone else. And as I said, growing up, I was always a guy, I never believed in abuse. And you know what? There are different forms of it. It's not just physical. There's verbal. There's even financial abuse. You know, where people use finances as a means of control, as a means of, you know, intimidating the other person in that relationship. Say, well, hey, I'm the breadwinner. What do you bring to this? You know, you can't tell me what to do because I'm the one paying the bills. I'm the one controlling the finances. You don't have anything without me. So, guys, there are many different layers when it comes. It's not just violent or you slapped her across the face. And let me say this. It's okay to get upset. It's okay to have disagreements. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, two different people are not going to agree on everything 100%. Mike, I'm sure you and Jonah don't agree on every single thing 100%, right?
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah,
that's
but,
any relationship.
Any relationship. But guys, it's how you handle those disagreements. Are you going to turn it into, well, F you, I don't want to be here with you if you don't agree with what I have to say? Or are you going to meet in the middle and there's going to be some compromise? Or sometimes you just have to say, you know what? Let's agree to disagree. Like, okay, we can't bridge the gap, but I can still understand or respect your stance and you can understand and respect mine, you know? So sometimes you have to agree to disagree, but do not escalate it. Do not turn it into something dangerous for either person in that situation. But yeah, as a man, realize it is for the woman that you're with, it can be downright scary and, you know, frightening if you lose your cool and she realizes she's outweighed by 80 pounds, you know, she's outmuscled. She cannot, you know, physically harm you. It can be very scary for her, you know, so think about it through both aspects and don't just think, well, she was doing something to piss me off, because ultimately you only have control of your behavior, of your actions, of how you respond to the situation, the kind of person you choose to be. And that's it, man. So guys, go out there, check out, you know, what Supreme and his wife Elaine are doing. Once again, it is Hurt No More Camp. All right.
You can find it on its Instagram.
Yep, Instagram. And of course, you know, go and support what Supreme's doing. He's got lots of videos on YouTube and stuff. Remember, Supreme Solid with a Y, no I. He's just like Mike. They had to change it up. Couldn't just be, you know, couldn't just spell it the usual way. But yeah, you know, go check out what they're doing, guys. A lot of positive things coming out from that family. I just wish them the best, man. I mean, that is a power couple. Like, you know, so definitely hope, you know, the last few months of her pregnancy go well. Hope their baby girl is born healthy, no complications, no issues, and definitely looking forward to like having them on future episodes too, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, his wife has already said to us she would like to come on an episode herself. So definitely looking forward to that. Guys, you know, one last time, if you're in an abusive situation, relationship, whatever it may be, you take responsibility for your actions in it. Do not focus on your partner. And this goes for men and women, but I'm more focusing on the men because, like I said, for the women, it can be downright scary because they know if you lose your cool, one backhand could potentially break something, you know? So guys, before it gets there, use the resources, use all the, you know, programs out there available to people. Take care of it before it turns into a deadly situation, all right? Handle your business, you know? Make sure that your family feels safe when you're around. Make sure that you can control yourself regardless of how the other person, how you feel they're acting. If you stay in control, they can't continue to escalate it. Then they just look like a crazy person. It's like, so he did nothing to you. He didn't raise his voice. He just sat on the couch and drank some tea. And you were the one throwing stuff at the walls. Okay? It only reflects poorly on them if they continue that behavior. But take control of yourself first and foremost, and make sure that you don't end up adding to the that toxic cycle, that you don't end up adding to the severity of the situation. And you know what, Mike? We're gonna take a commercial break after I just let all that out.
Yeah.
We're just gonna take a commercial break. We're gonna liven up the mood in here, and we'll be right back. Episode 45, Hoods Goods.
Oh, hey, Knowledge Bookstore. Hey, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, I know this place. Hey, you're Sean. Sean, hey, Mike from the radio show with Brentt.
Hey, Mike.
Oh, yeah, hey, I saw the store passing by. I was thinking about picking up a copy of Brentt's book.
Brent's book? What?
You know, the one he's always promoting on the radio show.
Brent didn't tell you, Mike? There's no book.
Wait, there's no book?
Oh, hey, Mike. Didn't realize you'd be in the neighborhood. What brings you up here?
I was just by here and I saw the bookstore. We're always talking about it on the show. I thought I'd come in and buy a copy of the book.
Oh, you actually came to buy a copy. I didn't actually expect anyone to come all this way.
Wait, what do you mean? There's you have photos of the book on the shelf.
Well, Mike, like Photoshop, man, it's a hell of an app. I didn't actually think you would come.
Wait, so you wasted my time?
Well, what had happened was, look that way. Straight hood. It is actually a book.
Oh man, you know what, guys? We just started the episode off with me being open about my some of my poor choices, some of my abusive actions in a relationship. Now it's strange because it's like you always say you'll never be that guy, you'll never end up being that guy, but sometimes you don't know how you lose control when you're frustrated, when you're upset, mad, angry, whatever the case is, So, yeah, just want to continue to urge people, guys, seek help, take care of yourself, take care of your family. Do not escalate, back away, walk, go to the gym, whatever it is, maybe lift some weights. Sometimes it's good to just hit the gym sometimes, Mike. And and you just you get that aggression out in a positive way.
I got a buddy lives downtown, and he's up. He used to be up at like 4 a.m.
Yeah,
and he's like, I want to work out before work, and I'm like, man, well, aren't you tired? He's like, no, man, I get all my aggression out.
Yeah,
all my anger.
Yeah, and you actually feel better afterwards. You're just like now I feel like so light.
You have to channel these energies.
Yeah,
like they gotta go somewhere.
Exactly, so. and that's So how do you want to channel it? Do you want to punch your woman in the face, or do you want to go lift up a dumbbell and just just grunt it out?
Yeah,
a good grunt is good sometimes too, man. So guys, find positive, productive ways to channel that negative energy. There's nothing wrong with having it, because sometimes it's like, but it's how you harness it.
Yeah,
it's how you use it,
exactly.
Because there are times you take a negative, you make it a positive. It's like, hey, this was done to me as a child, but I'm not gonna use it to go and like on a mass murder spree.
I'm not gonna use it as a reason.
Yeah, as a reason to inflict pain or something on someone else.
Excuses.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, you're making excuses now, and you're not breaking the cycle. You're just adding to it.
Mm-hmm.
You're continuing to perpetuate that same cycle. So yeah, you know what, guys? Find good, healthy ways to get rid of that negative energy, channel it into something positive, and learn from it and grow, grow as an individual. Like there's a saying I heard, I can't remember exactly who's, but it says, if if you don't change, you don't grow. If you don't grow, you're not truly living. Because part of life is evolving as a person, so it's like, hey, you shouldn't be the same person you were at 15 as you are at 35 as you were at 15.
Yeah,
no. Now
you find yourself the same.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's like a 20-year gap where you literally you learned nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like, of course you're gonna have those core things about you that might remain the same, but your perspective on life, your principles in life, and your actions, should evolve and should show progression in some way, So it's like, because I mean, shoot, Mike, at 15, I was watching a lot of porn. Like that's what I was doing. Like, hey, how many times can I, it's like, those were my goals at 15. If that
those shouldn't be your goals.
Yeah,
at
those
35.
guys, do not make the. In fact, don't even make those your goals at 15. I don't know what path out. Sunday Night Sex Show messed me up, man. Like, but yeah, you know what, guys? Like, the person you are at 35 or the person you are at, 5-year increments, there should be some change, there should be some evolution. But yeah, so I was just opening up about, my own actions, my own, poor choices, mistakes in a relationship I was in, and I just hope you guys can learn something from that. But you know what, Mike? Getting into it, I don't know, man. I'm not feeling too positive about what the near future holds for the Raptors, man.
Oh man,
I'm thinking, yeah,
they're probably out.
Yeah.
But if they're not,
hey, that's great. Yeah,
can we just theorize what happened that the Raptors won?
Yeah, so we would have won 4 straight games.
We would have to win 4 straight. So the first game it was at home.
The first game would be on the road even.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. It wouldn't be our home.
Yes, but
it'd be the Cavs' home.
Exactly,
so we beat
them on their home court,
and it demolished.
Yes, absolutely. Like beat down, like we beat them by like 20 plus.
So they were demoralized. But then
exactly.
they were like the next game they were mad.
Yep.
They were mad. So they start the next game. They were up by like 20 at half.
Yep, and they're like, hey, we got them. They're out of it, and then all of a sudden, that rally happens in the third quarter. Third quarter rally, and hey, the Raptors end up upsetting them in Game 5 in Toronto. You know?
Oh yeah.
But
Jurassic Park's crazy.
Exactly.
It's a beautiful day.
People going nuts. People enjoying that nice positive energy, beautiful environment. Raptors go back Game 6 in Cleveland. Wax them again on their home floor.
I would also like to think at some point LeBron got in a fist fight with somebody on the Raptors,
and LeBron got suspended for a game.
Okay,
that would be great.
Who would he have fought?
I would say he and Kyle Lowry
Okay, I was thinking that too.
would get into it.
Yeah, Kyle Lowry,
I could see the two of them
angry.
getting into it, man.
The Raptors like, no. He's like, no, man, I'm tired of this.
Yeah,
He ain't doing this to
exactly.
me.
Because you know what? Kyle Lowry's the guy that doesn't back down. And that's one thing I like about him, man. Like, I mean, now he's not a guy he's not a pushover.
No.
And that's the main thing. You don't gotta be the aggressor all the time, but you gotta be the guy, look, you know what, if someone's trying to, step to me in a way that I don't feel is correct, I'm not going to be the one to like cower in their presence, And I think LeBron likes to do that at times. Use his physical stature to like sort of impose his will on people, And you know what? But I've also realized this about LeBron. This guy can like complain better than anyone else, man. He will like flop and hit the deck as like it's funny because on one hand he likes to say, well, I'm like I know I'm the strongest guy on the court and whatnot, and he wants to like project it, and people always say, man, LeBron is like a physical specimen, and even 15 years in the league, he's still strong and dominant. But watch that guy sometimes. This guy will take one little, like someone will just like, give him not even a full push off. And he's hitting the ground and he might flop around a little bit. And right away he's getting up and he's like asking for the refs to like give him a call and so. Like, I mean, this guy really he can sort of whine and complain with the best of them, man.
When you're a superstar, right? Like
you expect things to be a certain way.
Yeah.
There's a sense of entitlement there. There's a sense of entitlement, and I understand that. But at the same time, dude, man up sometimes, man. Like, I mean, it's like you watch a game and you see him and Lowry, like, get tangled, and Lowry is standing like nothing. And LeBron's on his back, rolling over, like, whoa, what? I just got fouled. And it's like, dude, just play. Like, man, if he played back in the day with, like, Jordan and them, imagine him going toe-to-toe with, like, Charles Oakley or Charles Barkley or something. They wouldn't stand for it, man. Oh. That guy would, like... They would ragdoll that guy around, man. Like Charles Barkley, I'm sure would. Like he would not tolerate any of that, that flopping going on there. But hey, I guess it's a different game these days, man. It's a different game. But getting back to the scenario where the Raptors could win it. So game 6, they go back, they wax Cleveland in Cleveland. Come back game 7, 3-3.
This is the final game.
Exactly.
The bars that packed every television it's playing on.
Everyone who can be in that stadium is there. ACC crammed. Everyone who's at home, they're tuned in. And the Raptors, close game. Game. It would be like game 1. It would be like game 1. They lose by 1, And the Raptors pull out the victory, But I know it's a tough task. It's a tough task. We can just speculate and hope that hey, they pulled it off, man. And if not, well, there's always next year. I'm thinking, we're gonna see a different team next year, though. There'll still be, of course, I think Lowry will be there still. DeRozan, obviously. But, some of the pieces around them, they may not be the same, man. I'm thinking because Serge Ibaka has disappeared a bit in the second round, Ibaka disappeared in that second round. Oh. Actually, pretty much after, like, the first game of the first round. I think I saw something where he hasn't even hit double-digit points since then.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wow. So, I think that could be a piece that maybe if they can move him, I know they recently signed him to a contract extension and whatnot, but at the same time, I mean, sometimes you got to make those moves, I'd like to see JV still on the team, I think Valanciunas, I'm liking the growth I've seen in his game.
Yeah, right, yeah.
He has been a really clutch guy. His effort cannot be, it can't be understated, man. Like, the guy is crashing the offensive boards. He's great. I mean, he had a game, 21 points and 21 rebounds. I mean, that's just all out effort and just hustle, you know. So I'd like to see, you know, most of the team still intact, but I have a feeling because Masai doesn't rest, man. Like he is a very smart GM, you know, and he's always looking for ways to improve the team, you know. Even in the past when he got rid of guys like Rudy Gay, and, you know, like people thought, okay, the Raptors are going to be, you know, worse. They just lost a good piece, and he manages to bring in new talent. He's really smart when it comes to drafting. That's one thing I gotta really respect about that guy. Like guys like OG Anunoby, you know, this is a guy who his stock dropped in the draft because he had an injury, and people were thinking, well, what if, you know, he may never be the same after his injury? He wasn't even supposed to play like a good chunk of the season. And next thing you know, he's back in December already, you know? So, and he ended up, he's looking like a very promising prospect going into the future, you know? But Fred VanVleet, I'd love to see that guy back, because that guy is just like, for that second unit, he is like the cog that holds them together. You know, he is that key piece that holds them together. So, man, I know it's difficult to see. You know, we were kind of hoping, hey, this will be the year we sort of come out of the Eastern Conference. You know, it was a really promising year, 59 wins, a franchise record. We had the second best record in the entire league. You know,
oh, wow.
We had more wins than Golden State, man. The only team that beat us in terms of wins was Houston. You know, so it was a really promising. It looked like this was going to be the year we represent the Eastern Conference in the finals. And yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough to see, but hey, you know what? Like we just speculated. You're not done till you're done.
Yeah.
You know, it's a 7-game series, and hey, until one team wins 4 games out of the 7, the series isn't over. And I think, you know, the Raptors will definitely they'll fight, man.
Nice.
They're a fighting team. But hey, you know what, man? We're gonna take another commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna wrap it up, man, and we're gonna say our goodbyes and, you know, recognize some of the people who have supported the show along the way. So, guys, we'll be right back. Episode 45, Hoods Goods, man.
So, Brent, what's the name of your book again?
Straight Hood.
Oh, and who sponsors Straight Hood?
Straight Hood.
So, Straight Hood is sponsored by Straight Hood.
Yeah, that's right. Bookception.
Oh, man. Mike and I were just talking about LeBron doing LeBron things. We're gonna, you know, wish everyone said they had LeBronto. Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. You know what? I can't knock the guy, man. When it comes to, you know, just outright talent and ability, and I was saying this, he may be the best, if not the second best I've ever seen personally, like in person, you know, where it's like I watch games. I can't talk about guys like, you know, Wilt Chamberlain, although I know he's like the only player that averages 100 points in a game, and I can't speak on guys like that, but just my own personal experience, you know. And I mean, you have got like Bill Russell, who won 11 championships as a player. Like, I mean, so we can't discount what those, but just watching LeBron, I may not like the flopping and stuff from, you know, that he does from time to time, but when that guy chooses to just impose his will on a game, he can do it.
Oh yeah,
you know, if he says I'm gonna take over now, he can do it. You know, and yeah, I mean, I gotta give the guy credit when it comes to his ability, his talents. He is, you know, I give him respect, man. I mean, the guy can outright ball, you know.
Yeah.
He can play, man. So yeah, you know, hey, I gotta give credit where credit is due, man. But yeah, you know what, guys? For those of you who tuned in at the beginning of the show, we've been talking about abuse and whatnot, and I guess that's what the Raptors have been taking at the hands of of that's what they took at the hands of Cleveland, But yeah, so yeah, guys, if you're in an abusive relationship, in an abusive situation, whether you're the abused or you're the abuser, seek help, guys. There are so many resources out there. We just want to continue to, urge people, encourage people to go and take advantage of them, utilize them. They can help you deal with your anger if you're the person who is the abuser, or they can help you get out of a situation if you're the one being abused, because what we definitely don't want is where someone gets killed, someone gets hurt in a nasty way. So we want to avoid those things. We want to be here for our loved ones, for our children. We want to set a good example for those who are living with us, for those who respect us, for those who know us. So, guys, once again, we want to say No More Hurt Camp is the name of Hurt No More Camp.
I was like, why did that sound off?
Yeah, I got like dyslexic apparently when it came to so Hurt No More Camp. Go check out their Instagram page. Support what they're doing. Our buddy Supreme Solid and his wife Elaine. That's their nonprofit organization. So see what they're doing, support their cause, and just learn new things, get more information, and just, continue to, better yourself as an individual and those around you. So, without further ado, we want to, say thank you to all those who continue to support the show. Knowledge Bookstore, go check them out, guys. 179 Queen Street West in the Brampton, Ontario area. Beautiful place, man. Just such a nice store.
Yeah. If you've never seen it, you should.
If you've never seen it, you need to get in there. Definitely worthwhile visit. Tell Sean that, Mike and Brent sent you. And hey, you know what? I guarantee you will not leave that place without getting something that is worthwhile, whether it's a book, whether it's a doll, whether it's one of their beautiful fragrances that they have.
Whether you talk to Sean.
Yeah, just talk to Sean, man. Yeah,
knowledge
exactly. The name of the store is right, man. They got the right name. So yeah, guys, go check them out. Continue to support the show. We always appreciate that. Hopefully next week we'll be able to have that guest we were supposed to have on a couple weeks ago, who wasn't able to make it. If he can come through with his son, I mean, that's an amazing thing, to make music together with your child. It's like you have your protege, who's your son, so that's like Dr. Dre making music with his son. I don't think he has a son, but if he did, that's what it's like, So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get him on the show, or get them on the show next week. And you know what, Mike, I was thinking, if they're able, if the father-son duo is able to come through, maybe our dads can come through too. Be like, but who knows? Maybe our dads are like, oh, forget it. We rather watch the game, But yeah, we'll try and work something out. Maybe do like a Fathers Unite, father-son, episode. But yeah, you know what, guys? Thank you so much. If you want to check us out on Instagram, Hoods Good Show, and you can reach both of us through that. Or if you want to reach us individually, he is Mikey Diamonds with a 0 for the O, and I am B_Hood82. You can see a cute picture of my son as my profile picture, because I much rather look at his face than my own. Yeah, I think most other people would rather look at a cute baby than his older dad, But what's it? Also, if you want to check us out on Facebook, He is Michael Rosario. You know, government names. We keep government names for Facebook. And I am... Yes.
That's how the Facebook overlords want it.
Yep, exactly. And I am Brentt Hood. Brentt with 2 T's. Yeah, you know what, guys? Get in touch with us. Let us know your thoughts on the show. Heck, if you want to come on the show, I mean, we're easy to get a hold of.
Hit us up.
Yeah,
we're
hit us up.
We want to know what's going on
exactly.
in your life. We want to share it.
Yep.
We want to share it.
And you know what, Mike? I actually got there's a little project I'm sort of tinkering with in terms of our YouTube channel. So you know what, guys? We're on YouTube as well.
Oh yeah. Check out the YouTube channel.
Out the YouTube channel, guys. You know, feel free, comment, like, whatever, you know. We're on YouTube. So Hoods Goods. Just look for Hoods Goods, you know, because we always try to dish out the goods, you know. So check us out on YouTube as well. And you know what? Just a special thanks to everyone who continues to support the show, everyone who continues to tolerate, you know, my voice. I don't know how you guys do it. Mike's got a beautiful voice, I gotta say. Whenever I hear your voice, I'm like, that's a nice voice. It's got a good tone to it. You got a nice laugh. You know, for me, it's like something died in my throat or something. It's just, you know, it's kind of raspy at times. But hey, you know, what can I do? This is the voice I was dealt. These are the cards I was dealt. I just got to deal with it, you know. But yeah, you know what, guys? We're all over the place. Check, go to Spreaker.com, look up Hoods Goods, or just go to Instagram and click the link in the bio. So, with all that being said, I am all talked out, Mike. So we're gonna, you know, wish everyone a beautiful day and see you next week.
Yeah, thanks for a great show, everybody, and bye.